You should listen to your heart and not the voice in your head. Keep your expectations tiny. You will go through life not so whiny. My standard comment is, if you don't want your kids to be like Bart Simpson, don't act like Homer Simpson. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. I'd be vegetarian if bacon grew on trees. I believe that children are our future, unless we stop them now. Part of the fun of being alive is knowing that you're annoying the hell out of someone else. Everybody's clever, just in their own ways. If God didn't want us to eat cows, why are they made out of meat? English? Who needs that? I'm never going to England. Son, if you really want something in life, you have to work for it. Now quiet. They're about to announce the lottery numbers. The entire world of grown-ups is corrupt and stupid. I promise I'll do anything for you, especially if it's easy. Homer Simpson. You know, boys, a nuclear reactor is a lot like women. You just have to read the manual and press the right button. No matter how good you are at something, there's always about 1 million people better than you. First, you get the sugar, then you get the power, then you get the women. You can't keep blaming yourself. Just blame yourself once and move on. Homer Simpson. A woman is like beer. They look good, they smell good, and you would step over your own mother just to get one. Living creatively is really important to maintain throughout your life. And living creatively doesn't mean only artistic creativity, although that's part of it. It means being yourself, not just complying with the wishes of other people. I went to Bali, and I was in a small village, and somebody who was with me showed a woman a little figurine of Bart and asked, "Do you know who this is?" And she said, "Mickey Mouse." Since I was there in the very beginning, I know the history of the characters, so I make comments about the tone and sometimes remind the writers that you've done that before. I want it to go on, but I want us to go out on top. One of the things I would like to do is make up stories that I would have enjoyed when I was a kid. So I'm thinking about an audience. It's usually a younger version of myself. With animation, because you can draw anything and do anything and have the characters do whatever you want, the tendency is to be very loose with the boundaries and the rules. Done it. Is there anything they can do? Families are about love overcoming emotional torture. Most TV shows don't reward you for paying attention. Cartooning is for people who can't quite draw and can't quite write. You combine the two half talents and come up with a career. Basically, Everything that try to do is to present an alternative to what somebody else is doing. It is just hard not to listen to TV. It spends so much more time raising us than parents have. I was always frightened by taverns. They just seemed like very unpleasant places to go. The thing that makes me happiest about Simpsons Illustrator are all the drawings that we get from readers. I wish we could print them all. They're really imaginative. They show a lot of hard work. One of the great things about the internet is that you can read what everybody has to say about everything. It's fascinating to me, the critics about humor by people who have no sense of humor. On The Simpsons, I would say that we definitely like to comment what is going on in the world, and we try to be funny. If we can figure out a way of being funny about it, then we've gone part of the way of accomplishing our task. Loves a perky elf dancing a merry little jig, and then suddenly he turns on you with a miniature machine gun. Don't have a cow, man. We've got a bunch of new writers now who tell they grew up watching The Simpsons. It's bizarre, and they're writing some very fun stuff. Sometimes people get mad at The Simpsons' subversive storytelling, but there's another message in there, which is a celebration of making wild, funny stories. Because good writing in a TV cartoon is so rare, I think the animation on The Simpsons is often overlooked. Me fail English? That's impossible. I'm a writer who just happens to draw. God often gives nuts to toothless people. Our solution on The Simpsons is to do jokes that people who have an education or some frame of reference can get. And for the ones who don't, it doesn't matter, because we have Homer banging his head and saying, "Duh." We've been running a little behind schedule, but only by about 15 years or so. I thought I was going to make Gray's cartoons for the rest of my life. I didn't think I'd ever get paid for it. I didn't think I'd do well enough, but I knew it made me happy. The Simpsons is about alienation and ambivalence of living with a family who you love but who drive you completely crazy. Oftentimes, what seems to be a straight lunatic charge at me spouting gibberish turns out to be a devoted Simpsons fan quoting their favorite line. We did the Simpsons movie, which took almost 4 years. It was the same people that do the TV show, and it just killed us. So that's why there hasn't been a second movie. But I imagine if the show ever does go off the air, they will start doing movies. I judge my life by how miserable it used to be. If I could pay my rent, I was delirious happy. Now I'm delirious happy all the time. The Simpsons was about children and married parents. Futurama is about people in between. They're growing up and haven't settled down. Every other cartoon show seemed to be, dumb dad, bratty kids. The really great thing about having 2 TV shows going on at the same time is that I can go to one and say that I have to go and visit the other, and then I can just go home, and they don't know. The conundrum that I face on a daily basis is that I have two sons who have grown up watching The Simpsons. So they know exactly what buttons to push. They know how Bart irritates Homer, and they use these lines against me to tell me that I'm not funny anymore. You've got to embrace the future. You can whine about it, but you've got to embrace it. People go into cartooning because they are shy and they are angry. That's when you're sitting in the back of the classroom drawing the teacher. I basically drew my own family. My father's name is Homer. My mother's name is Margaret. I have a sister Lisa and another Maggie. So I drew all of them. I was going to name the main character Matt, but I didn't think it would go over well in a pitch meeting, so I changed the name to Bart. The scary thing about the future, there will be tiny cameras everywhere, and they'll be flying around like mosquitoes and drones. That will be bad. Drones are scary. You can't reason with a drone. If I have one technology tip of the day, is this. No matter how good the video on YouTube is, don't read the comments. Just don't. Because it will make you hate all humans. I may be beating off more than I can chew, but with The Simpsons and with Futurama, what I'm trying to do is the guise of light entertainment. If this is possible, is nudge people, jostle them a little, wake them up of some of the ways in which you're being manipulated and exploited.